There is a weird delay between Streamlabs and YouTube, but here we are. Oh, we are going to switch that. We're going to move the webcam just above the subscribe button. There you go. All right, well, how's everybody doing? Let me know if you can hear me and if things are looking good on your end. Super excited to finally be doing a live stream again. I think the last one I did is when I got a copyright strike, so that's a good time. That's fun. Apparently, I didn't react to a video the right way you're supposed to react to a video. But we're here and we're live streaming. We're going to be doing these live streams every Thursday at 4 to 4:30, just kind of depending on how my other job works out in terms of schedule. So I'll make sure though that I schedule them day of so that you can see if it's a 4 or a 4:30 Mountain Time live stream. But hey, we are going to hit up the Space Arby's of the Mandalorian, and we are going to take a look at some tiers, and we're also just going to talk about what we think is going to happen in The Mandalorian Season 2, which starts today. Well, by today, it's technically tomorrow, but the way Disney Plus works, it'll probably be like at some point late tonight. So, super excited for it. Howdy, everybody. Sage, how's it going? Long time no see. I saw you last night. Austin's here. Oh yeah, bringing up Space Arby's. Woo! All right, I see that Star Wars Multiverse and Ghost both kind of dropped some comments earlier, so hopefully they're able to join us. But how's everybody doing? Drop a comment in the chat. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me if you had a good week or not. Super excited to be here, guys. We're going to jump into this live stream, and we're going to have a good time. All right, so we're hitting up the tier maker, and this is something that I have done on these live streams before, and I really enjoy them. I think that it's a fantastic thing for us to do together, to kind of rank these characters and talk about them as we go. So today's tier, today's ranking that we're going to be doing is covering characters from The Mandalorian. And this is Season 1, so keep in mind this isn't going to have any of the Season 2 characters because, quite frankly, we don't know all the Season 2 characters yet. Let me know in the chat who you're most excited to see in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. And that could be past characters that we saw in Season 1, or that could be characters that we'll hopefully see in Season 2. And we're going to talk about that later in the live stream. So, let's, okay. So, Sage had an okay week. Austin, your week was weird. Hopefully it was weird in a good way, weird in a bad way. I don't know. But let's start. So, here we go. And let's just go through this. All right, man. Good to see you briefly, at least, Sage. Have fun with the homework. So we're gonna look at some of these characters. Right now, they're just kind of all there. We've got, oh man, what is this Twi'lek's name? She's in. Oh, if you can't see, I am watching Season 1 right now. I'm partway through my rewatch of it. If you have rewatched Season 1, let me know in the comments, and tell me what your favorite episode is, but we're going to talk about that later as well. So, going through some characters here, we've got the scientist. I think his name, I cannot remember his name. I'm currently looking it up on Google right now, because Google is awesome. Yeah, Dr. Pershing. So Dr. Pershing, we've got Cara Dune, Mando, Din Djarin himself. We've got Baby Yoda or the Child, and we've got the Armorer. And I cannot see that picture. That picture's dark. not sure who it is even. Yeah, if you're able to see this picture, then let me know. We got the annoying guy from the gunslinger episode. Cannot remember his name because really didn't care for him. He was kind of the worst. Let's see if Google can help me out on that. But anyways, we got IG-11. We've got this mechanic. She was annoying to me. She was annoying. We've got the Twilight Brother. We, of course, got some Death Troopers. We got Fennic. I wish we got more from her. For whatever reason, she was an interesting character. We've got the Client. We've got some Tuscan Raiders. Again, we'll talk about them when we get there. But, that is one of my favorite scenes in Season 1, is when Mando is just doing sign language with these Tuscan Raiders. We got Moff Gideon, of course. We've got this guy that kind of looks like Hellboy. We've got Grief Karga, some pit droids. This guy. We've got I Have Spoken. Oh, why am I forgetting his name? But he's awesome. We've got some Jawas. We got the blue guy at the beginning. The first time we get to hear Mando say his line, I can bring you in cold or warm. And then we've got I think Mayfeld is his name. He's interesting. He always reminds me of that alien in Men in Black. I think it's the second one that had the little head attached to his shoulder. The only reason he reminds me of him is because Mayfeld's got that gun that pops up on his shoulder. So I can't think of the two separately. So anyways, that's a good time. Ethan, welcome to the live stream. I am so excited for Season 2 of The Mandalorian. So we're going to spend this whole live stream talking about Season 1, talking about what we've got going on for Season 2. And we're just going to have a good time chatting The Mandalorian and whatever else. So with that, let's jump in. If you're new to the whole tier maker situation, it's pretty straightforward. We've got all of the characters that we're going to rank here. S is top tier. I think that means like super. I mean, this is your legendary characters right here. And then it goes A, B, C, D, E, F. So anyone who's ever been in school has some idea of what that means. So let's do this. If you're just joining, be sure to drop a comment and tell me your favorite character in Season 1 of The Mandalorian. When's the next What If Yoda trained Anakin Skywalker? That's a good question. So technically that story is done. I do have the dark side timeline version of that. That I haven't released yet, and I'm probably not going to release for another couple weeks, but I will do that. But technically the story is done with that one. I've got to work on what if Anakin killed Obi-Wan on Mustafar. I've got to finish up that story, as well as what if Ahsoka trained Ben Solo. Those are kind of the two what ifs or fanfics that I need to finish before I move on to really any other ones. I also have what if Count Dooku never left the Jedi Order, but that one is it. I'm gonna hold off on that one and finish it probably in the next week or two and upload that. So, all right, Austin, we got Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda. All right, Star Wars Multiverse, what's up, dude? Glad you're able to make it here. Oh, hey, Faith is here. Mando and the child, they're an iconic duo already. So, I mean, it's hard to argue that. They're an iconic duo. So, let's jump in. And so if you remember her name, let me know. Her brother is this guy. They're both kind of weird. She's obviously got some sort of past with, Mando, I don't know, but anyways, I'm gonna put her pretty low on the list because she was just kind of annoying to me. plain and simple. I wish I had a better reason for putting her there, but she just was kind of annoying to me. I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Star Wars Multiverse. I'm just gonna call you Multiverse from this point on. But yeah, nah, she's there. She's pretty low on the list for me. Actually, I'd put her even at the bottom. She was weird and annoying. Okay, so we've got the doctor, the scientist. So he's actually interesting to me because you can see on one of his shoulders. Obviously, this picture is a little bit too small, but you can see on one of his shoulders that he has got an emblem that matches an emblem seen on Kamino and some of the Kaminoans. So they haven't directly made any tie to cloning or even Kamino in The Mandalorian yet, but that really, really implies that to me. So for that reason, I think he's somewhat interesting. And then, of course, he tried to protect Baby Yoda and keep Baby Yoda alive. I actually just watched the episode where Mando goes in to rescue Baby Yoda, and he kind of just falls to the floor and is like, "Hey, no, if it weren't for me, Baby Yoda would be dead." So we'll put him up at a C. Really, the character himself of the scientist, I'm not too interested in. I'm more interested in what he represents, which, Ethan, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure he's a cloner. So for that alone, I'll put him here kind of mid-tier, because if he's a cloner, that's interesting. If he's tied to Kamino, that's interesting. So, yeah, we'll put him there. We've got Cara Dune next. She's a B or an A. You guys can convince me either way. My favorite moment with Cara Dune is actually when she kills that other bounty hunter who is about to snipe Baby Yoda. I think it's in episode 4. But it's towards the end, and like tension is building in the episode. You've got this sniper that is lining up Baby Yoda in his scopes, and it's a close call, but Cara Dune comes in clutch, so she's pretty cool. Yeah, Austin, I agree with you. Probably just a high B, maybe a low A. Hopefully season 2 kind of gives us a little bit more on her. There's still a lot of questions I have about her. I want to know more about her past. I want to know how she got involved in the rebellion, and there's a lot of questions. She was obviously, her past, she was a rebel shock trooper. But all right, next up, the big guy himself. We got Mando. So this one's tough for me because, yeah, Mando is obviously top tier. The show's about him. He's wearing the iconic Mandalorian armor that we all know, and he just represents a lot of good right now in terms of Star Wars content. So he's top tier. There's still so many questions I have about him, but I'd like to hear, what are you guys hoping to find out about Mando in season 2? What is it that we don't know about him that you want to know in season 2? Adam, welcome to the live stream. What time does the episode come out tomorrow? So my guess is typically Disney Plus, they'll get them out early in the morning. So usually, depending on your time zone, I'm in Mountain Time, so usually I've been able to watch new episodes of something on Disney Plus at about 11 p.m., sometimes 12 a.m. So my guess is that if you stay up late enough tonight, you'll probably be able to catch the episode. That's certainly my plan. But yeah, so here we go. What if SpongeBob was Anakin and Patrick was Obi-Wan? What? Oh, we're just going to take a moment of silence for that what if. Should I do that what if video? That would probably be my best one yet. Yeah. Multiverse, I think you're spot on. He's committed to his duty. He's an honorable guy. For the most part, other than some members of Death Watch, we've really not seen any Mandalorians that are not honorable guys, especially the ones who become bounty hunters. Boba Fett's obviously a pretty honorable bounty hunter. Jango Fett, it was said of several people that Jango was an honorable man. I think there's multiple times where young Boba Fett meets somebody that was a friend of his father's, and they would say, "Oh, so sad that Jango is dead. He was an honorable man," or whatever. So it seems like a lot of Mandalorian bounty hunters specifically have been pretty honorable, and Mando is just exactly that. Yeah, I think Adam in probably 5-ish hours, but don't quote me on that. Obviously, I have nothing to do with Disney Plus, so that's entirely up to them and out of my control. But I do know, based off of my experience, I've usually been able to watch it very late the night before, very late Thursday night. That was true of season 1. That was true of how season 7 of the Clone Wars went for me. So that's my experience, at least. Yeah, I can think of Multiverse. I kind of agree with you. Gar Saxon, and Tristan, they weren't honorable. It's weird because you got that phase of Mandos that just kind of aligned themselves with the Empire. They sold out their people and really just kind of, I mean, they sold out essentially. There's no honor in that. And yeah, Gar Saxon and Tristan are both good examples of that. What's up? Oh, hey, Toxic Gamer. Oh, predictions for the new season. So I think that my biggest prediction is that we'll see Ahsoka. That's pretty basic. I'd say that's probably even 95% confirmed that we'll see Ahsoka. But I think my overall prediction is that Mando is going to not just connect with Force users like Ahsoka, but also connect with people from his past. Mandalorians who can kind of help him understand kind of the roots of Mandalore and kind of the roots of the Mandalorians who took him in. And I'm hoping, I saw this in the chat a little bit ago, but I'm hoping that means we will get an explanation of the Purge, the Mandalorian Purge. Ghost, awesome. Hey, I'm glad you're here, and thank you. Thank you for noticing the haircut. I literally just got it, like not even an hour ago. It was like sitting in the haircut chair, and then now I'm sitting in my gaming chair for this live stream. So, yeah, no, I'm hyped for it. Yep, Ethan, I want to know more about the Purge. I think that, so the whole Mandalorians removing their helmet, if you've watched Clone Wars or if you've watched Rebels, you know that they don't follow that way. They don't follow the whole don't remove your helmet thing. I think Mando, he says that once his helmet is removed, he can never put it back on. And obviously that's more metaphoric than anything. It just means essentially once he takes his helmet off, that's kind of, he's bringing shame to the way of the Mandalorians. But my guess is that understanding the Purge, once we get more information about that, that's going to help us to understand that way. Because obviously, Mandalorians in the Clone Wars and in Rebels don't go around saying, "This is the way. This is the way." They don't say that. So I'm assuming that that's something that was born out of the Purge, which happened at some point during the reign of the Empire, because Moff Gideon was a key player in that. So that's kind of my big prediction here, is that we're going to get some connections to Mandalorian's past. We're going to see some characters like Ahsoka. We might see Sabine. We might see Boba Fett. There's a whole list of characters that we might see. But but I think the overall goal and thing that we're going to see from the season is a little bit more backstory on the Purge and potentially start to see what the remnants of the Empire were trying to do with Baby Yoda. I think that they're trying to do a lot of cloning, and I think that Moff Gideon is wanting to be able to clone Force users, but we'll find out more information on that. So moving on, we've obviously got Baby Yoda. Is there any question Baby Yoda has become an icon of Star Wars? Like, seriously, everybody knows Baby Yoda, even if you're not a Star Wars fan. So we can't not put him top tier. Am I right? So, anyways, that was easy. Tell me your favorite Baby Yoda moment in the chat. I think that he's got plenty of good moments. I want to know your favorite moment, and then I'll tell you mine at some point. So, moving on, we've got the Armorer. And I'm going to put her right here with the old scientist. And really, actually, no. I'm gonna put her up as a B. And the thing that I like about the Armorer is she seems to have, and she has been around. She seems to have an understanding of quite a bit of history. She seemed to have been a part of, obviously, the Purge of Mandalore. And I assume that because she's so wise, I assume that she's been around even before that. So, to me, the more information we get about her or whatever, to be honest, I'm not even sure what her fate was. I cannot remember. I know she holds off a bunch of the stormtroopers while Mando and his crew are trying to escape in the end of the last season. But I can't remember if she died or not. Remind me in the chat. Somebody tell me what the fate of the Armorer was. But she's interesting. I really liked every time there was a scene with her, I was just interested and I was listening to everything she said, hoping that she was going to give us some backstory on why the Mandalorians are in the spot they're in. Like, we know that Mando is... the Mandalorians, they're in hiding. Obviously, the Purge drove them into hiding, so it's interesting. Catch up with chat here. Yeah, Baby... Okay, Austin, I don't know if Baby Yoda is more well-known than Batman. I think you reach a certain point in pop culture where you're just so well-known that, you know... you can't get more well-known than you are, and I think Batman is at that point. There's not a person who doesn't really know about Batman, and I think Baby Yoda is close to that, but I actually had a conversation with somebody the other day who had no idea who Baby Yoda was, so, you know, it's different. I guess it depends on the person. So, yeah, so when Baby Yoda holds the cup and breaks up the fight, yeah, that's hilarious. That's a good one, Adam. Austin, when he saved the Mando from the Rhino and falls asleep. Awesome. Yeah, so Adam, that's why I'm confused and not sure I remember her fate, because I was pretty sure that she was in the Season 2 trailer, but I could be wrong. I really only watched the Season 2 trailer a couple times. You know, it just didn't have Ahsoka, so I wasn't going to rewatch it a bunch of times. But so my favorite Baby Yoda moment is when he takes the knob off of that lever in the Razor Crest and he's playing with it, and Mando's like, he looks over, sees that. For whatever reason, that was just my favorite moment. It was a good moment to see between Baby Yoda and Mando. Kind of had that fatherly moment. Marin, hopefully I'm saying that right. Marin, do you think Boba will be in Season 2? I'm pretty positive that Tamara Morrison will be in Season 2, and whether or not he's playing Rex or Boba Fett is up in the air. Maybe he's playing both. I'm probably 85% sure that Boba Fett will make some sort of appearance in season 2. I don't think it'll be a big one. I think that maybe for an episode or two he'll be some sort of antagonist. He'll probably be trying to, I don't know, he could be hunting down Baby Yoda. He could be for whatever reason an antagonist to Mando, or he could team up. I don't know. What they do with Boba Fett is a complete mystery to me, but I am 85% sure that he will be in season 2. Really, I just am basing that off of, we've had so many news outlets, including Tamara Morrison's own like booking agency site, list him in season 2, and it just makes sense. And Dave Filoni has commented that, if he brought Darth Maul back to life, then what's to stop him from bringing someone like Boba Fett back to life? So, yeah. So I hope that Boba will be back. Do you think that Boba's armor was on the speeder bike in the first trailer? Yeah. If you zoom on that picture, it looks like it could be. I don't think it matters either way. If it is his armor, then obviously we'll find out that Boba's in there or not. If it's not his armor, then we'll get that answer. I think at this point that question is simply, it's just teasing us. I think they gave us enough to maybe think that could be Boba's armor, and I think they're just teasing us with that. So I feel like Boba will help the Mando and will redeem himself. That's possible. Yeah. Oh man, it would be kind of sweet to see Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian at some point. I don't know how they do that, but all right. So we got the next one. We've got this dark picture that I really cannot tell who that is. I can't tell. So we're gonna skip it, and we've got this guy, this rookie bounty hunter. Drop a chat. Tell me if you know his name. I can't remember. I literally just watched that episode. But he really annoyed me. He's a D for me. And that stands for many things. But that episode, that was my biggest beef with that episode, is that this kid annoyed me. And I think it was one of those things where he was supposed to annoy you, so it's not any fault of the actor or anything like that. I think that he was a character that was supposed to annoy you. He annoyed Mando. Actually, I think it's pretty funny. Just the whole time they're going out hunting down Fennic, which was the bounty he was after. Every time they would meet some sort of obstacle, this kid would panic or not know what to do, and Mando would kind of just sarcastically tell him this is what we got to do, or keep a level head or whatever. So he was an interesting character. Honestly, he is a character that by himself I didn't care for, but the way that he made Mando looks like such a boss, that was his purpose, and he was good. Ghost, I am watching Mandalorian in the background. Season 1, we're watching it in the background. So, sorry if you were trying to, his name was Jake? What kind of Star Wars name is that, Jake? Nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a great name. I have a lot of friends named Jake, but his name can't have been Jake. Alright, okay. I don't know, so. Alright. IG-11. Who does not love IG-11 and the redemption arc here? I mean, this guy was an assassin droid who was reprogrammed and ended up sacrificing himself for the sake of the child, Mando, and everybody. When IG-11 goes out and it blows himself up, to save the rest of the crew. That was awesome. I was like, oh, pour one out for IG-11. Pour one out. So to me, he's an A because he was hilarious, and also he's voiced by Taika, who is fantastic and hilarious. So he's an A. He's obviously not an S because that's top tier, that's iconic, and whatever. But for sure, solidifies a spot as an A for me. So if you disagree with that, let me know. But I think that's the perfect spot for him on this list. All right. So now we got this lady who basically, we'll call her the pit droid wrangler or whatever. Again, if you know her real name, drop that in the chat. I know it's not Jake, so that's fine. Yeah, for real. You got Chewbacca, you got Jabba, you got C-3PO, you got Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and then Jake. Hello, I am Jake, Jedi Knight Jake. It's like Jedi Bob. Let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about when I say Jedi Bob. Okay, but she was fine. She was kind of annoying. Like, she was kind of a little over the top for me. But she was a cool character. She served her purpose. She was somebody that helped Mando when he needed help. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, you guys excited for Halloween? Let me know in the chat if you guys are what plans you've got for Halloween. If you still dress up for Halloween, which hey, I think anyone can dress up for Halloween. Let me know what you are dressing up as if you're dressing up for Halloween. All right, we got this Twilight Brother. Cannot remember his name either. I really struggled, guys, with the side characters in Mandalorian in terms of their name. He was pretty low for me. I mean, he was kind of a ruthless villain type guy, so that was kind of cool. But for the most part, I'm not sure what purpose he served. This whole episode arc with this brother and sister, Mayfeld, and some of those other characters, obviously we learned that Mando has a past where he ran with a pretty rough crowd and has done some things that aren't very heroic. We learned that from this episode arc, but for the most part, the minor characters within that episode, I didn't care for too much, but they do help us understand Mando's past a little bit more. Gotcha. Whoa, Dylan, when did you get here? Welcome. Okay, Austin, Perry the Platypus, solid. Did you know? Oh. Somebody, I think it is D. Bradley Baker, who is obviously voices the clones. I'm pretty sure he also did Perry the Platypus. If I'm wrong, correct me. Ireland went back into second lockdown. Really? That's crazy. So you're from Ireland? That's cool. Well, sorry you guys are in second lockdown. That's not fun. Do you know how long that's going to last? Star Wars Multiverse. I thought the guy with the gun backpack was cool. Yeah, that was Mayfeld. He's the last one on the list. You know what? Since we're talking about that arc and those characters, let's rate him. I put him up as a C just because he was the best of all of these side characters from Mando's past in that arc. Yeah, that gun backpack was cool. Again, if you're just joining the stream and you weren't here earlier, I talked about how I cannot look at Mayfeld with his little gun backpack without thinking of also that villain from Men in Black that had the small head coming out on like his shoulder. Weird. I don't know. Those two, I just think of them the same. So, and yeah, Marin Mayfield was pretty funny too. So, Yeah, Matt Lantern, obviously Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars. He was the crew guy that they killed. So, rip Anakin, rip Matt Lantern. So, will I ever do the dice roller thing again? Oh, absolutely. Probably next week. I just felt like today's stream we had to cover some Mandalorian stuff because we got Mandalorian coming out. But yeah, definitely do that choose your own adventure Star Wars story in the next live stream. So, haven't forgot about that. I mean, my goal as a YouTuber is to not I don't want to leave things unfinished. I know there's a lot of channels out there that, for example, fan fictions, they'll start a fanfic and then they won't finish it. That being said, I do realize that I have probably 3 or 4 right now that are unfinished, but I have plans of finishing those. I just like to have a few fanfics going at the same time, just so that it stays fresh in my mind. For example, when I was doing the What If Ahsoka Trained Ben Solo fanfic. That went out over 7 parts, and I still have one more part to do, which I'm working on. That should be out this weekend. But over that many parts, I just got like tired. I wanted to change up the story. I wanted to move on to something different. So I like to have 3 or 4 that I can kind of bounce back and forth between, just to keep things fresh. But I always want to finish those things. I don't ever want to leave a story unfinished. Um, Mayfeld reminded me of Doom Eternal, sense of that gun on his shoulder. So I actually, yeah, okay. The clown car spaceship. Coolio. All right. So we've got the Death Troopers. Death Troopers, I mean, they're cool. Death Troopers are fantastic. They're awesome. I'm gonna put them at a C. So the reason I'm putting them up here, this you might think that that's high for such a minor character, but one, the Death Troopers I thought are super cool, and also I loved every moment in the Mandalorian when we would get some sort of glimpse of the Empire, some sort of like shadow of the Empire. It was just really cool in setting the context for what was happening in the galaxy when we had, especially in the early season of the beginnings of season 1, when you have stormtroopers that are in beat up armor and they just look like they've been through hell and back. That was awesome. I loved seeing that world building there. So that was a good one. Yeah. So yeah. The sound that Death Troopers make, super cool. They're just. I love. Also, I don't know how many of you are big into Star Wars comics, but anytime you read a Star Wars comic and Death Troopers are involved, it's just like pretty much chicken scratch in their quote bubbles. Like you can't even understand what they're saying in the comics. It's pretty great. So yeah, the 2 scout troopers, they were pretty funny. But yeah, they did hit Baby Yoda. So yeah, Um, Adam, I'm on second part of What If Anakin Killed Obi-Wan on Mustafar. Do a great job, fanfics. Thank you. Yeah, I really enjoy them. They're a lot of fun. Fanfics are kind of a cool thing because you really get to have a lot of creativity in that. And I really do my best to have a creative story that's maybe different from some other stories out there, but also I do my best to stay true to kind of the Star Wars world. I don't want to go way out there, but I also, it's a fanfic, so you have the freedom to do that a little bit more. Okay, so now we've got Fennic. This is the one that this kid right here, Jake, was after, and ultimately he kills her because he decides that bringing Mando in would be more valuable to him. Because his whole goal is to enter into the Mandalorian guild, or not the Mandalorian, the Bounty Hunters Guild. And she essentially convinces Jake, that's not his name, it can't be, that it would be more valuable to him to bring the Mando in and just let her go. And bringing the Mandalorian in who shot up the guild would make him a legend. He's drawn to that. He's more worried about his reputation and becoming a legendary bounty hunter than even money. So he takes that advice, but he kills her because he's smart and knows that if he lets her go, she'll just kill him. So she's right there. She's cool. She's whatever. She served her purpose. Really need to read the comics. Yeah, you do. Oh, okay. Marin, the actor's name was Jake. Yeah, that makes sense. He looks like a Jake. He really does. He really does. But I don't believe his name in Star Wars. But multiverse. Oh yeah. I don't have any control. Like, you do whatever you want. You do whatever what if or fanfic you want to do. Like, I don't control those. It's whatever. You're going to do it, and it's going to be a different story than mine, and it'll be good. So, it doesn't matter to me. You could copy every video I do, and it would be different. You know? It's just fair game. So, it would be cool if you did what if Han Solo didn't knock over Boba to the Sarlacc pit. That would be cool. That would actually be really cool. I need to do some more original trilogy what ifs. I've spent a lot of time, obviously, with the what if Ahsoka trained Ben Solo. I spent a lot of time between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. A lot of my recent fanfics have spent a lot of times in the prequel era. So I need to do some more like OT era Reign of the Empire. Which, by the way, did you guys see the High Republic content that's coming out? They've actually split the Star Wars timeline a little bit different than they have in the past. They've broken it down further to where now they're distinguishing the High Republic, which is obviously everything before the Phantom Menace, or 200 years before the Phantom Menace, and so they're calling that the High Republic, obviously, because it's High Republic content, but then the prequel era, they're now calling the Fall of the Jedi, instead of, like, Age of the Republic or whatever, and this is just within the context of the High Republic stuff. I don't know if it's the new canon for the way that it's talked about, but maybe it is. I literally just saw it, so I haven't done a lot of research on it. But then they're calling the original trilogy era, they're calling it the Reign of the Empire. So that between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, that's the Reign of the Empire, and then you've got, like, hey, it goes on in some other ways. But I thought it was interesting. What do we got? Adam, what would you think of a Luke Skywalker series after the Return of the Jedi and before The Force Awakens? Maybe like the Clone Wars and Rebels that tells the story of Luke and his order. Yeah, that's something I really want from Star Wars. I want more information, more story surrounding Luke and his new Jedi Order. If you ever played like the Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy games, those go back probably early 2000s, but those were awesome because you got to literally immerse yourself into that exact story. But obviously that's not canon anymore. So I want the new Star Wars canon to include something more than just some adventures that Luke and Ben went on. I want to understand, I want to be introduced to characters, to other Jedi who are in Luke's new order. So yeah, no, I think that'd be awesome. I have not. Wait. Actually, yeah. That's the guy. You have him featured on your channel, right? He does some music. Yeah. That's interesting. No, I haven't listened to too much of him. Okay. Okay, so we got the client. Whatever. We'll put him as a D. Actually, no. He wants to harm Baby Yoda, so he's pretty low tier. Yeah. He's kind of interesting. Again, I've said this a lot about a lot of the characters, but he's interesting simply because of what he represents. He represents some fraction of the Empire, some obviously he is some sort of character that spawned from the Empire, or whatever. So it's interesting there because I do want to see more when it comes to the fate of the Empire after Return of the Jedi. Within books and comics and stuff, you're able to kind of get a pretty good understanding of how the Empire officially fell. But I'd like to be able to understand how the Empire kind of scattered and disseminated from where they were in Return of the Jedi a little bit more, and he represents that. Yeah, honestly, any situation where Luke can learn more about his mother, Padme, would be awesome. I would love to see that story, for two reasons. One, because we never get that in the movies. Luke, he even asks Leia, like, hey, do you remember your mother? Knowing that that is his mother as well when he asks her that. And you know that Luke is asking Leia if he remembers Padme. Obviously, he doesn't know her name's Padme, but he's asking Leia if she remembers her mother because if she does, whatever she tells Luke is going to be some piece of information about his mother that he doesn't remember. So that would be cool to see that within canon. I think it'd also be awesome for Luke to get to know who Padme was a little bit more because I really think that Luke and Padme are more similar than Luke and Vader, Luke and Anakin. My What If Anakin Killed Obi-Wan fanfic kind of leans on that a little bit, but I really think that Luke was similar to Padme, while Leia was probably a little bit more similar to Anakin. But yeah. Marin, season 2 theory would be that Mando goes to Tatooine because in the trailer he said he was looking for Mandalorians. Also, it would be amazing if Mando actually thinks Boba is a Mandalorian and gets his armor back. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I am really curious if they bring Boba Fett in, how they're going to do it. So it'll be interesting. Adam Yat said Padme was just forgotten and never mentioned by her kids. Yeah, honestly, Padme is an awesome character. I've got 2 chapters left of Queen's Shadow or Queen's Peril. Whatever the most recent book about Padme is, it takes place between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. It's fine. It was kind of a slow read for me, not my typical jam, but it really did make me appreciate Padme. Obviously, the Clone Wars show, Padme has some really good story arcs there. She's a great character. And it's sad that she's forgotten, never mentioned. All right, let's go to these Tuscan Raiders here. Um, Honestly, you guys might hate me for this, but no, they're gonna be a D, only because they're Tuscan Raiders. A Tuscan Raider is a Tuscan Raider. There's not much character development there. There's not much. Pretty much, I mentioned this earlier, but I think the coolest part of these Tuscan Raiders was that Mando literally did We've not seen anyone have a positive interaction with Tuscan Raiders. Every time we see Tuscan Raiders in Star Wars, it's been them attacking somebody, whether they're camped out in a canyon, sniping pod racers, or just attacking Luke Skywalker. And Mando literally walks up to them, does some sign language, communicates with them, and they have a little trade deal, and they get passage through their land. So it's interesting. This is the first time we've gotten a positive experience from Tuscan Raiders. So for that, we'll bump them up even a little bit. So yeah, yeah. Oh, and the sound they make, it's iconic. It is iconic what the Tuscan Raiders do. So yeah. Also, side note, in my Lego collection, my Lego Star Wars collection, one of my favorite minifigures is the 2020 Tuscan Raider. They're cool. I don't know why. Don't know why. All right. Oh, yeah. Adam, I am 90% sure that the ice planet Mando goes on is Ilum. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a brand new planet. Um, it's a brand new planet, and maybe it looked like Ilum, but it's not. But I think, given the context, one, that Mando is looking for Force users, for people that he can connect Baby Yoda to. Ilum would make sense. That's a key place in Jedi history. Obviously, that's where they would go to get their crystals as younglings. The other thing, though, is that Ilum later becomes Starkiller Base, so that brings another connection in. You've got the fractions of the Empire, the pieces of the Empire that are at play in Season 1 of Mandalorian, Moff Gideon. It would make sense that these pieces of the Empire also begin to branch to Ilum in Season 2. It would make sense that we see how the Empire goes, and the very beginnings of the First Order would utilize Ilum and grow it to become Starkiller Base. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I don't think it'll be Hoth. I think if it's not Ilum, it's going to be a brand new planet that we've never been to before. So Ilum makes sense story-wise. A new planet would also make sense story-wise. I don't think Hoth quite does. Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order, we know that, and Jedi Fallen Order even hints at the fact that the Empire is prepping Ilum to become something. I don't know if their goal. I doubt that their goal with Ilum was to make Starkiller Base. Maybe it was, but obviously at the point of Jedi Fallen Order, that is before New Hope. That is pretty fresh after the Revenge of the Sith. So the Death Star is the Empire's primary project. They're looking at building the Death Star. So I doubt they were looking at Ilum as something to build into Starkiller Base. But they did have a base on there, and they were utilizing Ilum for sure. Mando might see Empire at that planet. Yeah. So, Austin, you think it's a new planet? Bow to the First Order! General Hux's speech in The Force Awakens is actually pretty fantastic. That's a good moment. Alright, Moff Gideon, speaking of the Empire. So, do you guys think that Moff Gideon is going to be a key player in terms of the beginnings of the First Order? Because right now, obviously, he's just part of what's left of the Empire. The First Order doesn't exist yet. But do you guys think that Moff Gideon will play a role in starting the First Order? And will we see that in Mandalorian? Maybe it's Season 2. We start to see the beginnings of the First Order. Moff Gideon, he's a B. I like him. Obviously, I've got so many questions around him. Season 2, depending on what they do with him in Season 2, I would even bump him up to a low A. But Moff Gideon is super interesting. Obviously, he represents what's left of the Empire, and potentially the future First Order. But even more importantly, he is the one in possession of the Darksaber. And that is going to be our tie to the Purge of Mandalore. And we're all wondering, what is that purge? So I think understanding Moff Gideon's backstory and his intentions with Baby Yoda are gonna be like the crux of Season 2's story. Like, it's gonna be building to that. We're gonna understand who Moff Gideon is, what his goals are, how he got the Darksaber, and just what exactly his role in the Purge of Mandalore was. So, yeah. Gideon's pretty high up there for me. Pong Krell, welcome. Welcome. Do you think Mandalorian Season 2 will make Moff Gideon appear in the first episode? I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, that could go either way. The first episode of a season is always strange, and obviously we've not ever gotten a Star Wars show like this. We've not ever gotten a live-action show like this, so it's hard to predict what exactly they'll do with the first episode. I'm pretty convinced that they will give us some sort of cliffhanger or some big surprise twist, just like they did with the very first episode in Season 1, giving us Baby Yoda. Not sure what that twist is, but yeah, I think at the very least they will reference Moff Gideon. They've got to do something to keep Moff Gideon on our radar. Maybe it's a while before they actually see him and meet up with him or he's on screen, but I think they'll do something so that he's still on our radar, so that we still know that Moff Gideon is kind of the big bad guy right now. So, yeah. Mando gonna see Darksaber and be mad. Honestly, Multiverse, I'm not even sure that Mando would even know what the Darksaber is. The only reason I say that is because the Darksaber was something that during the Clone Wars, which we know that Mando was a kid during the Clone Wars, and that's when he was rescued. But at that point, the Darksaber during the Clone Wars was ultimately in possession of Maul, and probably to the rest of the Mandalorians was disappeared, gone. So he might know like of the backstory of the Darksaber and know that it's an important weapon in Mandalorian history, but I don't know if it'll be as on his radar as we think it might. I think if they bring Sabine Wren into Season 2, which I think they will, then she'll have a way bigger interest in the Darksaber than maybe Mando does. Yeah, obviously, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they will have Mando wielding it, but I don't know. I really, to be honest, haven't thought as much about the Darksaber as I should be thinking about it. In a comic, Boba actually carried a green lightsaber. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I did, I think Star Wars Theory did a video on that recently, with that comic. That's pretty good. Ahsoka shows up first episode. Yeah, I don't know. I think it could be Ahsoka, Boba, or Sabine. I think the first episode, this is my prediction. If I'm wrong, we will know by tomorrow, but my prediction is either Boba, Ahsoka, or Sabine will be revealed. That's my prediction in the first episode. Pong Krell, I agree with you. When they do reveal Ahsoka, it will be a pretty minimal appearance. And that's how I feel about all of these characters. I feel that Boba, Sabine, Ahsoka, even Bo-Katan, all of these characters are going to have a minimal appearance, like maybe one episode, half an episode, maybe two. And the reason I think that is because if they bring in Ahsoka, and Ahsoka is in almost every episode of the season, then it's not a show about Mando anymore. It's not a show about Baby Yoda. Ahsoka will absolutely steal the spotlight if she's given too much time, because she's an awesome character. And that's, so I think that all of these characters are going to get minimal appearances from them. So, he knows the Legends of Mandalore the Great. Okay, yeah, that's true. He does know, like, the history of Mandalore and all that. I'm not sure that the Darksaber is going to be on his radar. That's Marin. I personally think first episode takes place on Tatooine because a picture was leaked of episode 1. It showed Mando. Wow, I'm yawning, guys. Need more coffee. Looks like a Tatooine cantina. Yeah. Yeah. I would bet. Here's my prediction of the first episode. It starts out on Tatooine. Mando and the child are following a trail to find Jedi, to find other Mandalorians. They're on Tatooine, and that's probably where they meet Boba. And my guess is the big reveal that they have at the end of season or episode 1 tonight is Boba Fett. That's gonna be my guess. That'll be my official prediction of this episode tonight, is that we're gonna get Boba Fett, not Ahsoka, not anyone else, but Boba Fett in some way, shape, or form. Whether or not we see him actually on screen or his armor, maybe they just shows his armor or whatever, but I think we'll see Boba Fett tonight. Yeah, Marin. Yeah, we talked about his agency a little bit, and they're saying in various episodes. Yeah, so I would be surprised if we see Boba in a few episodes. Yeah, and all these characters, it's possible that we see Ahsoka spread out over 3 or 4 episodes or a lot of them, but we're just not going to get a big role from her. Grand Admiral Thrawn, welcome. Yeah, so Gideon's only a B class, but I could do a high or a low A on him. I only put him there just because there's still, you know what, just for you, man, we'll bump him up to A. I think he's deserving of that. But hey, welcome Grand Admiral Thrawn. Hold up one sec. Go off camera here for a second. I just finished this guy, so there you are, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Austin, is Mando better than the Clone Wars? I think that's hard to say. That obviously comes down to opinion. They're two completely different things, and they're made by different people. Obviously, there's some people that are involved in both, like Dave Filoni, but it's hard to say. I'll tell you my personal preference, and that is the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars is some of my favorite Star Wars ever. Like, even before Season 7. Even before Season 7, the Clone Wars was one of my favorite Star Wars things ever. It's hard to beat for me personally, but that doesn't mean that Mando's not good. Mando's a great show. Game changer. But in my mind, Clone Wars can't be beaten. Alright, so we got this guy that looks like Hellboy. My nose is really itchy, guys. I'm not sure why. Anyways, you guys didn't care about that. We're gonna put him right here, just with the client. I don't really have anything else to say. If you've been in this stream for most of the time, you heard my explanation for why kind of both the Twilight brother and sister as well as Mayfeld are kind of all down here. And that's really just because I didn't really care much for them. They were helpful in helping us understand that Mando's got a past with a sketchy crew. But other than that, so they're pretty bottom tier for me. Yeah, we can revisit this discussion of Clone Wars versus Mando when season 3 is over. Yeah, and you know what? That's all. It all depends on what they do with the rest of Mando. If we get like Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker even, and just all sorts of different awesome characters jumping into Mandalorian at some point, then who knows? Maybe it turns into a really even more exciting thing, and whatever. But I don't I don't I don't rank it above the Clone Wars for me. It's gonna be really hard to make Clone Wars not one of my favorite Star Wars things. Yeah. Where is... Yeah, I don't care about the red guy. Where's Grief Karga? He is up next, actually. We haven't actually talked about him yet. Um, he's like Hellboy on low budget. That's a good one. Grief Karga. So, honestly, I'm putting him at a B because he he's got a good redemption. Okay, so yeah, I actually really liked him. I can't really tell you why. I think it's partly because I really like Carl Weathers. For whatever reason, I've always enjoyed him. But I do like his arc. He starts out as, his purpose is to run the guild, and he really loves Mando. Obviously, Mando betrays him, betrays the guild. So he's after Mando, but that doesn't mean he's a bad guy. He's just protecting the guild. Mando kind of tarnished their reputation by going in and stealing Baby Yoda. So he would have done that. Like, it wasn't personal. He's just doing that because he's in charge of the guild, and he's got to maintain that reputation. But then he does join with them, and obviously in the end, you got that force healing scene where Baby Yoda heals his wounds, which is interesting. We can talk about that a little bit later too. But I don't mind him. He's a good character, and he's pretty consistent. Will there ever be a new trilogy of movies, and if so, what time period? I would agree with you and say before the Phantom Menace. It just feels like to me they're ramping up the High Republic stuff. So if that stuff goes well, it wouldn't surprise me if they try to make some sort of movie trilogy from there. It just seems like that's where they're headed. Plus, if they're listening to their Star Wars fan base at all, which, it's debatable, they would know that so many Star Wars fans are looking for stuff from the Old Republic, looking for stuff from before the Phantom Menace. So, if there are more movies, that would be my guess / my hope where they're headed. Obviously, there's no really predicting that. It could go any direction. They could go 10,000 years after Return of the Jedi. That would be weird, but you know what? They could do that. Yeah, Grief Karga definitely had the most screen time as a side character for sure. Pon Krell, agree with the B rating. A Darth Revan movie is absolutely needed, and Keanu Reeves will be Darth Revan. Anakin before Anakin, for sure. A New Hope. Yep. Oh, you guys are already talking about Keanu Reeves. I'm like catching up on the chat, saying my thoughts and all that, and you guys are already way ahead of me. Also, Pon Krell, you're new. Welcome. Thanks for the sub. I really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully after this live stream, you're able to jump into some of the content, and be sure to leave comments and give me feedback. Tell me what you like and all that stuff. So, yeah, welcome to the channel. Looks like him. Adam Revan is an ancestor of Anakin. Boom. Sorry. Possibly. Who knows? Anakin's ancestry is pretty convoluted, because obviously we've just got Shmi, and then however he was conceived in the Force. A lot of questions there, but I got my own speculations, of course, but those are mostly based in legends stuff. but you won't see much of Keanu because he always wears his Legends mask. Yep, that's true. Is the blue fish guy from episode 1 in this list? Yeah, he's the last one on this list. So let's move on to the pit droids. Let me make sure. I guess I should check and see what. Okay, so you guys can see all the way down to the E tier. Okay, that's good to know. So there's So we've got the pit droids, Santa Claus. Gosh, why am I forgetting this Ugnaughts name? I have spoken. But we have him, the Jawas, and the blue fish guy. That's what's left. Grand Admiral Thrawn, aren't you? You're in Germany, right? I feel like you commented that and said that. Yeah. So does that mean you're able to watch The Mandalorian now? I don't know. That's probably not how it works. Yeah. So the blue guy is in this, but let's hit these pit droids next. I'm gonna let you guys decide where the pit droids belong. Personally, I put them as a C. Now, here's why I put them as a C, because that's maybe a hot take. They're just pit droids. I put them as a C, primarily because they're a nod to the prequels, and we didn't get a whole lot of nods to the prequels. I'm a big prequel guy. To be honest, if you unsubscribe from my channel because of this opinion I'm about to share, then whatever. But the prequels are my favorite, even over the original trilogy. So I'm a prequels guy. So I love the pit droids because they're a nod to the Phantom Menace. Plus, they're funny. They are funny even in this moment. So pit droids are at C. Quill. Okay. Quill. Eh. But yeah, really, you're right, Multiverse. That's about all they fulfilled. They were a little funny. They added some comedic relief, but for the most part, they're just a nod to episode 1. So goodbye, Austin. Sorry, you're not a prequel guy. Yeah, no, I'm just a prequel guy. Don't get me wrong. I love the original trilogy, and I don't even mind the sequel trilogy. If you've been a part of the channel for a long time, you know that my big thing is Star Wars is Star Wars. There's Star Wars that I like more than other Star Wars. I like the prequels way more than the sequels, but I'm not gonna be one that goes around and just takes a dump on the sequels. There's things that I was disappointed in with the sequels, but I don't know. If you like the sequels, then great. You like the sequels. Awesome. That's good for you. I even like a lot of parts of the sequels. I love Kylo Ren. There's good stuff there. It's not my favorite. Okay. Bye, Austin. Thanks for the unsubscribe, my brother. Marin, also, funny thing, when George Lucas was in an interview, he was thinking about making Anakin and Boba brothers. That is weird. That is really weird. What interview was that? I've never seen that. I believe you. I've just not seen that interview. Yeah, I think the prequels were just hated for a while because I don't know. They got better with age. Memes really helped out. But for me, that's what I grew up on. The first Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters was Attack of the Clones. And The Phantom Menace, I saw that, I think I was in kindergarten. And my mom finally introduced Star Wars to me and was like, okay, we used to do these like movie nights where we would just go into my parents' room, my siblings and I, and my mom would like bring a bunch of food and snacks, and we would have a movie night in their room. And The Phantom Menace, we watched that. I was hooked on Star Wars, and then I got to see Attack of the Clones in theaters, and then Revenge of the Sith in theaters, and all that. So, I'm a prequels guy. That's just what I love them, but I love all Star Wars. So, The sequels were like so bad. You know what? It's hard to question the Grand Admiral himself, but I made my statement. Star Wars is Star Wars. There's parts of the sequels I like, but they're not my favorite. Okay, it's a video called Boba Fett Behind the Scenes. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, no, I assume we all have kind of resounding opinion that the sequels aren't the best, but again, there's too many people that hate on the sequels and are pretty toxic when they do that, and I just don't want to do that. Yes, Hayden, welcome. Long time no talk. It's been a whole while. I was actually just on the phone with Hayden, so everybody say hi to Hayden in the chat. If you've been a part of the channel for a while, you probably maybe watched some of the past Battlefront streams. Hayden's the guy on the other end. He and I did some streams together. Also, yeah, the stash is coming in nice. You know, too young to watch the sequels or the prequels in theaters. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I still distinctly. So, two things I remember about watching the sequels in theaters. First was in Attack of the Clones when Yoda and Count Dooku fight. When Yoda takes out his lightsaber, ignites it, and jumps into battle, I remember opening night, that theater erupting. Like, I've never had a movie theater experience like that. Even watching, like, Avengers Endgame, when, you know, that whole ending, I don't want to spoil that if you haven't seen Endgame, but, like, the theater went crazy then. But Attack of the Clones, Yoda fighting Dooku, I've never been a part of a more exciting experience in a movie theater. So that one was a huge thing. Also, Revenge of the Sith, Order 66. I think that was the first time. So I was in 4th or 5th grade at that point, and I just remember jaw drop, like just silence watching Order 66. So it was almost the opposite experience of Attack of the Clones with Yoda fighting Dooku, whereas the whole theater was just completely silent. Everybody was glued to what was happening during Order 66. Yeah. All right. Oh, a Squadron stream soon. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, I got rid of my PC over the summer. I sold it, so I don't have a good ability to stream video games yet. But my goal for November is to get another PC and start doing some gaming streams. Primarily just Battlefront. Actually, Battlefront, Squadrons, and then I also have all of like the classic Star Wars games like Knights of the Old Republic, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, the original Battlefront. So I'd like to be doing some streams with those, but got to get a PC first. So anyways, so yeah, to answer your question, Hayden, maybe someday, hopefully soon in the next month or so, a Squadron stream. All right, we got to move on. We got Santa Claus, putting him right here on the D class here. Actually, you know what? Even lower, right here. I don't know. I really don't have any reasoning other than I just didn't care for him. His ending was fitting. Lego games, absolutely. Also, who is hyped for the new Lego Star Wars game coming out in the spring 2021? Let me know if you're hyped for that, and let me know if you played the original Lego Star Wars. Just drop that in the chat. Marin, you're born after a couple years after the prequel movie, and somehow I watched the prequel movies on YouTube. Okay, so you were... Okay, alright. You were traumatized when Anakin got the surgery into Vader. Also, you watched them on YouTube. Okay. Interesting. Well, Do you think Star Wars should be more violent? I think it's pretty tame, and I feel it kind of needs more gore. Doubt Disney would do that. I don't know. I I think I think you got to remember that Star Wars, the goal behind Star Wars has been originally to reach like a kid audience, but we know that it's something that's transferable to a variety of age groups, and so I think for that reason they're never going to make it more gory, and I don't think they should make it more gory because really what they have now, kind of where they're at, they've got some dark moments. They definitely hint at some gore, but the way that they've got it right now is kind of a sweet spot where it's content, it's movies, shows that kids can watch, but also adults can watch it and not feel like it's cheesy or whatever. Well, there's cheesy parts of it. But speaking of gore, though, I'm sure you guys have seen. You can find that screenshot of when Mace Windu decapitates Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones, and you can see a shadow of Jango's head falling out of the helmet. So how's that for gore? Dude, Hayden, if you do that, if you fly out here and we build a PC, I will absolutely do that. I will absolutely do that. Absolutely. I'm not even joking. Okay. I have spoken. We're putting him as a B. Dude, he's fantastic. Actually, I could even put him as an A. Reason I put him as an A is because he is such a level-headed character, which I love level-headed characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi, just characters who are like, they're just good and they help other people, and they're not struggling with all sorts of darkness or whatever. They're just there and they're trying to do their part to make the galaxy better. That's exactly what he does for Mando. He plays his role to help him, and ultimately dies protecting Baby Yoda. So I think he's at an A for sure. At an A for sure. I gotta catch up to the chat. Well, I'm not really hyped for it. Don't know why. Maybe because I lost interest in Lego games and then switching to racing games. Big motorsport fan. Okay, so do you like? Since you're in Germany, you probably watch like Formula One. Yeah. I don't know. What racing do you watch? I don't know anything about racing, but I do have a roommate that is a big NASCAR fan and watches a lot of Formula One as well. So, yeah, I don't know anything about racing, but I want there to be a Clone Wars DLC in the new Lego game. You get to play as Anakin, free play, and fight Maul. That would be interesting. Be a good time. All right, we got the Jawas. We're putting the Jawas right here with the pit droids and the Tuscan Raiders. If you're just joining this stream, we've talked about kind of the Tuscan Raiders and the pit droids as they're awesome, and they served a great role of kind of nodding to previous Star Wars movies. They're obviously the Tuscan Raiders and the pit droids and the Jawas help to bring us back into the already existing universe of Star Wars, because there's a lot in The Mandalorian that's new. There's a lot in The Mandalorian that is building on the world of Star Wars, but characters like the Tuscan Raiders, the Jawas, the pit droids, they kind of help us to center and bring it back to the already existing world of Star Wars. So yeah, I like that. Yeah. Jawa's addicted to egg yolk. That was a strange time. I'm still perplexed. Hayden, so Noah Logs, back when we were streaming Battlefront, his username was Ghost Survivors. So you already know him. You guys have met. There's there's that connection if you remember that, but good times. Mostly watched Formula One this weekend in Imola after 14 years, but also, okay. All right, okay. So, again, I know nothing about racing. I did watch a Netflix documentary with my roommate that talked about a lot of like crashes in Formula One and talked about some drivers who died during a race. And the mind-blowing thing to me about that was that they would be doing this race, the driver would crash, and then in some of these cases, they would continue on with the race. Like, obviously that driver who died, their team would take it out, like figure that out. But the rest of the teams and the rest of the cars would keep racing. That was weird to me. Star Wars. Not a big fan of Porsche. Okay. All right. IndyCar is good. Okay, so our last one, we got the blue fish guy. He's in the first episode of season 1. He gets frozen in carbonite. We don't really see him from there, but the season 2 trailer has him. I think that's him. That's for sure him. I don't think there's any question that it's a different guy, because why would it be? But I don't know, he's down here to me. He's kind of funny. When he, like, I laughed quite a bit when he basically tells Mando that he's got to go to the bathroom, and that, like, hey Mando, you shouldn't stop me from going to the bathroom, because if you ever seen one of my species be prevented from going to the bathroom, it's not good. Like, that was a pretty funny scene. So anyways, but that's where he's at. I again cannot see this picture and figure out what it is, so I don't even know what character this is supposed to be right here. But that's the only one we've got left for the most part. Yeah, can you guys see this last character? If you guys can see him, figure it out, let me know, and we'll rank him. But here's our tier list for The Mandalorian Season 1. Yeah, he was the first to mention a toilet in Star Wars. Like, that's got to get you some sort of claim to fame or whatever. That's Zero? Who is Zero? I'm thrown off. Let me I guess I'll have to Google this real quick. Is that the droid that pilots? He's the droid pilot that is... Okay. Zero... I'm Googling this right now. Oh, yeah. Yep. Nope, that's him. Yep. Okay. We're going to put him right up here for the same reason I put most of those guys. All right, later, Adam. Thanks for joining us. Later. Yep, the droid who tried to kill Baby Yoda. Okay, yeah. On my screen, I could not see that. That picture was not good, but there you go. Well, what do you guys think of this ranking of this tier here? I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's pretty sound. Makes sense. Obviously, Season 2 is going to adjust this. I would really like to know more about this B, the B tier right here. I'm assuming that Season 2 is either going to elevate them or maybe even lower them a little bit. Who knows? We'll find out. Cool. Well, what predictions do you guys have? Let me know in the chat. We'll wrap up this stream here in a few minutes. But let me know what you guys think is going to happen in tonight's episode of The Mandalorian. Let me know. I've kind of shared a little bit about my predictions, but I want to hear your guys's. I want to hear what you guys think is going to be happening. Also, side note, I feel like I I have to do this. But I do have a link in the description to some of the merch that I just launched. Really, I just did that. I just did some merch because I wanted to figure out how Teespring worked, and I just thought it'd be fun to design some merch. So it's there if you want to support the channel in that way. Kind of the goal of that is to be able to take whatever I sell from merches and be able to pour that right back into the channel. I'd like to get a better camera for live streams. I'd like to be able to get a PC that I can do some gaming streams and stuff on. So that's there. If you're interested in merch, go ahead and check that out. I tried to make the prices as cheap as possible, um, so that it wasn't breaking the bank for people. But that's the plug. That's the last time in this stream I'm gonna plug merch. That link's in the description. I really don't like to just plug things and try to convince you guys to buy stuff. So that, but I had to mention it. So, um, the For the Republic merch, I actually took it down because there was an issue with one of the graphics. It wasn't Teespring emailed me and they're like, "Hey, this isn't gonna print well." So they were unable to do it, which Teespring is really nice. If you've ever done anything with them, they're good at making sure that whatever product they print and send out for you is good quality, and the image, the file that I sent them for the Republic stuff wasn't good. So I'm gonna rework it and launch it again. But right now I just have some basic. It's got the channel logo and says the Chosen One on the back because Anakin's my favorite. Anakin's the Chosen One. Good stuff. So, anyways, that's where it's at. It's at. Okay, so Thrawn, you're saying there should be a link in the description. Marin, there should be a link in the description of this video. If not, one of any of the past videos from this week have a link to that in the description. Okay, Grand Admiral Thrawn, they will start their search where? Maybe, as you said, on Tatooine or that ice planet where they crash on. That could also happen like episode 4. Meeting Boba Fett on Tatooine is most likely. Okay. Wait. Okay, Hayden, I missed the context of your red wedding. That list is pretty good. The red wedding. I missed the context of your red wedding comment, but so Hayden and I went to college together, and he's the one that got me hooked on Game of Thrones. We watched that pretty much at the same time. Well, he watched it before me, and then I watched it shortly after. Austin, don't even worry about it. I'm not trying to push merch on people. It's just there. It exists, and if you would like it, it's there. But no obligation to do that. Whatever. It always bothers me when there's YouTubers that just kind of force their merch on people, and so, I don't know. You guys, if you've been a part of this channel for a while, you know that I've got a full-time job that I really enjoy. Like, my goal with YouTube is not to just get more subs and more views and make more money, because I already have something that does that for me. But really, with YouTube, I just enjoy making Star Wars content. I enjoy engaging with a Star Wars community like this. And that's my goal. And more subs means a bigger community that can engage in content together. And yeah, I don't know, to me, I just enjoy doing this, and if we don't get a single subscriber from here, then fine. Whatever. That's fine. I just enjoy doing it. Baby Yoda gets kidnapped in the last episode, and the Mando has to save him in season 3. Oof. Yeah, that could be a thing. I mean, at some point, Baby Yoda's got to have some sort of brush with death. Like, we've got to have another close call with him. So, yeah. All right. Well, hey, in the next 5 minutes, we're going to wrap up this stream. I'd still like to hear your predictions. I also want to know your favorite episode from season 1. So let me know what your favorite episode from season 1 is. And if you haven't already, tell me your predictions from season 2. Multiverse, same for me. That's why I write Star Wars stuff, and that's why I make videos. Yeah, it's just fun. Like, obviously, like, it's cool that a lot of people and a lot of channels are able to make that like their full-time job, and they're able to make money from that, and obviously that's a good cherry on top. Like, if I made money from YouTube videos, I'm not going to be mad about that for sure. But that's not my main goal, and because realistically, like, that's not something that's going to be, that's not a good enough reason to get into something. You have to have passion and be excited about what you're doing. But yeah, anyways, let me know your guys' favorite episode from the first season of Mandalorian, and we'll wrap up this stream here a little bit. So for those of you that are watching, just want to give you a couple, like, what you can expect from the channel here in the next couple weeks. So you guys know that every Thursday afternoon at 4:30, we'll be doing a live stream like this, and it'll be something like this. We'll hang out, we'll talk Star Wars, we'll probably do some sort of activity like this, like the tier maker or whatever. And then eventually, once I get a PC again, we'll be doing some gaming streams and stuff like that. And I've got a Discord that you're welcome to join as we do these live streams, and we'll go live, and we can chat that way too. So live streams on Thursdays, and then my goal is to then have 3 to 4 videos uploaded each week. So that'll be fan fiction stuff, Star Wars comics. Once in a while, I'll do some Star Wars explained type stuff. I actually, a couple weeks ago, I did a video with Star Wars Multiverse, who's been hanging out in this live stream. We did a video covering just some facts about Kit Fisto, so I'll do videos like that once in a while. If you haven't checked out Star Wars Multiverse, go check out his channel. He's a cool guy. Hey, Jim M, welcome to the channel. I just got a notification that you subscribed, so that's awesome. Welcome here. We're wrapping up this live stream, but I'm glad that you are here. Sage, so you finished your homework, Sage. You have to have 1,000 subs to start getting money. Yep, you do. 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time is what it is to apply for the YouTube partner program. But like I said, not about that. It's about making Star Wars content for you guys and really for myself. I enjoy it. Every time I make a video, it is super fun to think through a what if scenario, research something about a piece of Star Wars or whatever. It's a good time. So, yeah, let me know in the comments below what you're looking forward to in season 2, what your predictions are. And then tomorrow, what you can expect tomorrow is I'm still debating if I'm going to do some sort of season or episode 1 of season 2 recap. I don't know. I might recap tonight's episode. I might not. I'm undecided, but I am going to be this weekend finishing What If Ahsoka Trained Ben Solo. as well as what if Anakin killed Obi-Wan on Mustafar. So those videos are coming up soon. Those are coming soon. Austin, man, I thought you unsubscribed from me. All right, guys. It's been real. It's been a good time hanging out with you guys. We're going to end the stream here. Next Thursday, we'll have stream. Got videos coming out. Got some links in the description of this video for merch and for whatever stuff. So, yeah. It's good. Wait, what are we talking about here, Austin? Was bullied for being a Star Wars fan like 8 years ago. Ignore those people and just upload your videos. Don't let your private life be. Yeah. You Austin, you upload stuff, you know? That's how you start. You just start. There's no like you don't have to have a certain quality of video or whatever. Just start. Just start doing stuff. I still have some of my early videos public right now. Like, you can go back to some of my oldest videos, and they are absolute trash. So, check those out, and maybe those can be inspiration to you that you don't have to have good videos to start uploading things. And I'm not even saying my videos are perfect right now. There's still so many things that I'm trying to tweak and make better. But if you look at my old videos compared to videos I'm uploading now, there's improvement, I think. It's been a fun time. Andre, when does it come out? I'm guessing late tonight. I bet you could stay awake late enough. I'm in Mountain Time Zone, so in the past I've gotten Disney Plus stuff at like 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So I would guess if you stay up late enough, you could probably watch it depending on your time zone. Mando decides that bounty hunting really isn't a sustainable career and soul searches for his true calling. It's a directionless season, but sets Mando up to become a Battle of Endor reenactor. Okay. Alright. I like that. I like that. Okay. Haters will hate, and then followers and friends will love. Don't worry, we like you. Yeah, seriously, it doesn't matter. Just upload stuff and do content that you enjoy doing. If you don't have fun making content, then don't make content. If you enjoy making content, make content and upload it for people. There will be people that enjoy it. Obviously, take time to invest in yourself and figure out how you can make your content better. I'm always looking at a video or previous things I've uploaded and figuring out how I can make it better so that the next piece of content that I upload is even better than before. But just go for it. Just do it. Don't sip the haterade. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Possible and very interesting way to go. Yep. So we're looking at Din Djarin, Battle of Endor reenactor. I like it. Hey, if you guys are still here and you enjoyed the stream, make sure you leave a like for it. I assume most of you who have been hanging out through the whole stream have already left a like. I don't know why likes are important, but every live stream I've watched, they say leave a like, so I don't know. Here's me saying leave a like for the live stream. So, appreciate you guys. Got more Star Wars content on the way, and I hope that you guys enjoy episode 1 of season 2, Mandalorian. Next time we're able to interact, we will have already watched that episode.